Devi's protection as a shield, and it makes you unshakable within. So you're literally tapping into this inner power, and then you're connecting to the divine. That is four-dimensional. 4D is what we call, and then you have the 3D form of that energy, that Shakti, and that is this Sri Yantra, Meru. In this 3D, when you print it, it becomes 2D. You must have seen this in a lot of places. So this is the Sri Yantrams. To the practice, it is not just a random collection of names, thrown in a way. It's a brilliantly designed, it's like perfectly engineered spiritual system. Absolutely genius, the whole process. It's like playing video games. If you're into video games, right? You start with one level, you meet certain characters, you gain certain powers, and then you move to the next level, new challenges, right? And then you get powerful, and then finally you reach your final destination. It's something like that. You're not just asking for blessings from some distant deity, somewhere else. You are waking up these energies within yourself. Each goddess is a call. She's already there. She's inside you. She's waiting to be awakened. Om Sri Matre Namaha. So I hear this from many people that I want to learn Lalita Sahasranamam, but I don't have enough time, or it's hard to pronounce the words correctly. So my usual response is, okay, then chant Devi Khadgamala, because it takes less than 6 minutes to chant, easy to pronounce, easy to remember, and very, very powerful. And if you're chanting Lalita Sahasranamam, please add this as part of your daily sadhana. You can chant after Lalita Sahasranamam every day. So Devi Khadgamala is one of the most powerful Sothras in Shakti sadhana. Khadga means sword, right? Mala is garland, so it's a garland of swords. These are like spiritual swords, gift from the Divine Mother herself. So we use a sword to cut, right? So each sword in this garland is like a beam of divine energy that slices through your fears, your doubts, your worries. And it's like wearing Devi's protection as a shield, and it makes you unshakable within. So people who chant this regularly, they are protected from all this negativity and ignorance. So nobody knows exactly who chanted this first, the history of it, but we can trace it back to a sacred conversation between Uma and Maheshwara, Parvati and Shiva in the Vameshwara Tantra. So this practice is thousands of years old, and it's one of those, it's a very important sutras in Tantra and Shakti sadhana. And I'm sure you have heard this phrase, God is within you, within us. Almost all religions talk about it, right? But nobody says where exactly is within us and how to reach there. So Devi Khadgamala is actually a route map, a journey map to reach Devi. And the map is called Sri Chakra or Sri Yantra. So I'll explain this in detail in this video. So this Sothra actually takes us through a journey through different layers of Sri Chakra, right? And so when you chant this, you are invoking the divine energies within you and in the cosmos outside you. So you're literally tapping into this inner power, and then you're connecting to the divine. So the Khadgamala names the goddesses yoginis in a very specific order. As you recite each name, you are essentially walking from the outermost layer of Sri Chakra towards the center, the Bindu, and it's like a spiritual journey. So it's a very immersive sadhana, beautifully designed. The detailed Sri Chakra worship, it takes hours. It's called Navarana Puja, but Khadgamala gives you the essence of that whole process. Very focused format, which fit into our daily lives. So as human beings, the first question we ask is like, so what is the benefit? What's in it for me? What happens when I chant this? So I'll cover that first before getting into details. Benefits of Khadgamala Sothra. I'm going to read the exact Balashruti as mentioned in the Vameshwara Tantra. Please note that these benefits were written thousands of years back, so we have to customize it for our times. So it says, by just remembering this vidya, the devotee is getting protection from the dangers arising from fire, earthquake, distress in the kingdom and things like that. The devotee is saved from the fears of theft, battles, floods and ghosts. Problems from health maladies such as fits and fever, death and troubles from the ghostly creatures are averted. The misgivings between good friends and the evil planetary configurations are resolved by reading the Sothra. It provides timely relief if you are victimized by black magic, those practices and enemies. If you are in distress and if you just recite this, you will be protected from the problem you are suffering from. By just thinking about the Sothra, all the past and present sins melt away. You will find Vedas and Upanishads easier to understand with regular recitation of the Sothra. All the Agama Shastra secrets can be understood easily by just reading the Sothra. The recitation of the Sothra can attract anybody, be it king or gods, towards you. Devadas would bestow all siddhis on the person who recites the Sothra. It provides both wealth in the material world and the self-realization abilities to the person who devoutly recites the Sothra every day. So the summary is this: you are protected from all these natural disasters, fire, storm, earthquake. You are protected from man-made dangers, theft, accident, violence and things like that. And not just physical protection, you are also protected from negative energies, like ghost and spirit and black magic and even, people's jealousy, ill intentions and things like that. Even all these planetary challenges. Sometimes astrologers say that, right? Certain planets are causing problems in your life. This chant neutralizes those things. If there are any ancestral curses, your family karma weighing you down and anything you can't even explain, those kind of things, it will remove those things. Now I know you'll be thinking like, all these benefits sound too good to be true. Maybe this is written for some other time, some other generation. See, here is the truth. This is not about the belief and things like that. It's about your consistent practice, because when you chant Devi Khadgamala with the devotion, something will shift within you. You begin to feel, stronger, more protection. Basically, your energy changes, right? And slowly your life will change, because these are powerful vibrations. They tune our body, mind, and spirit to a higher frequency, different frequency. Because all our mantras, they're not just words; they are sound frequencies. So in our world, everything is energy, right? Energy and frequencies. So we are tapping to a very different powerful frequency. And by chanting this, you align, your body, your mind, your spirit, with those energies. So it is said, if you chant it 11 times daily for 21 days straight, you will see immediate visible changes in your life. I'm not asking you to start 11 times from tomorrow, but if you're going through any tough situation in life right now, if you really want to experience the full power of this practice, take this sankalpa for 21 days. 21 days intense sadhana, like 11 times for 21 days straight. See, the highest goal of this sadhana is the union with the Divine Mother, liberation itself. The text says this chant gives you freedom. You're on a fast track to freedom. Freedom from the cycle of birth and death. Freedom from suffering. Freedom from all disturbances. So where do I start? So let me walk you through this. It's simpler than you think. Step 1 is get the text, right? If you have the book, great. Otherwise, get a printed copy of Devi Khadgamala Sothra. I'll add a link in the description below. You can download and take a print out. So keep it where you practice. Okay. Step 2 is listen to the audio tape, right? There are a lot of videos on YouTube. Just like find the good recording. I'll put the link down and chant along with it. So even if you stumble, if you're not clear about some words, it's fine. Don't stress about pronunciation. It's absolutely fine. Just follow that and just keep chanting with the audio recording, right? And in a few days, you will remember the mantras, and then you will by heart in some time. And eventually you'll be able to sit in silence and just feel the mantras inside you, right? This is the second step. Third step is, after some time, try to understand the meaning of it, right? Don't just parrot the words without knowing the meaning. So I'll put the link, a document with the meaning here. So understand the meaning. Even if it's just basic understanding, it's fine, because this is what happens, right? So generally, when you know what you're saying, the words start opening up for you. So every time you chant, you will notice something new, a deeper layer, a fresh insight. So most important thing is devotion. Devotion is the key. Bhakti, your love, sincerity. So approach this practice the way you approach someone you deeply love, and with respect, with trust. So your faith, your devotion, that's what unlocks the real power. And other very important thing is consistency. Like, a lot of people get super excited, when they learn or, see something for the first time, and they will start the journey, and then life happens. They skip a day or two, and then by day 7, you're back to normal. So don't do that. So it's better to chant, once a day with full focus than to chant 11 times and disappear for a week. So make it a non-negotiable practice every single day, same time, same place. So with that consistency, you will have that connection, with the divine, and that will transform you. And where to do this practice? Of course, in a puja room or any sacred space. Keep a picture of the Sri Chakra, or you have this Meru Yantra. Even a printed image of the Sri Yantra will do, right? So the visual thing will amplify your connection. So as you chant each name, try to visualize, the corresponding Devis in the Sri Chakra. I'll explain that in detail in some time. And then just start. So don't try to understand everything. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to wait for the ideal condition. Just start. So start tomorrow morning itself, if possible. It takes only 6 minutes per round, right? That's it. Other very important question people ask is, do I need initiation, from a guru? The answer is no, you don't need it. If you have the opportunity to receive Diksha from a genuine guru, that's beautiful. That will accelerate your progress, and it will give you, it will open doors faster. But if you don't have a guru, that should not stop you. Chant with sincere devotion. Approach it with respect and love, and trust the process. Devi herself will guide you. She will send you what you need, when you including a guru, if that's part of your path. So the thing is, the Divine Mother doesn't wait for any formalities. She responds to your heart. So start where you are right now. Use what you have and do what you can. And trust me, she's listening, and she will guide you further. The rest will unfold by its own. Okay, this is something very important I want you to understand. So we all know Devi in her form, right? The picture, the Vigraham, idol, and all this stuff. Now, that is 4-dimensional. 4D is what we call. And then you have the 3D form of that energy, that Shakti. And that is this Sri Yantra, Meru, right? So this has 9 layers. I'll explain in detail. So this is Devi in a 3D form. So she's here in the Bindu in the top. Now, when this 3D, when you print it, it becomes 2D. You must have seen this in a lot of places. So this is the Sri Yantra, right? Very powerful. Maybe I'll do a separate video just on this. Very, very powerful, sacred geometry. And again, in the center is the Bindu. Devi is here, right? So this understanding is very important. So now it comes to the practice. It is not just a random collection of names, thrown in a way. It's a brilliantly designed, it's like perfectly engineered spiritual system. There are four distinct parts, four stages we call it as in this journey. So I'll explain each one in detail. Stage one is Nyasa, right? Preparing your body. Nyasa is basically, Nyasa means place. In this session, you will be touching different parts of your body, your head, your heart, your arms, and you will recite specific mantras. So basically, you are placing the divine energies in your physical body. You are transforming your body from an ordinary vessel into a sacred temple, ready to receive the divine. And in psychology, there is something called anchoring, ANCHORING. So, like you remember this movie called Three Idiots, there Amir Khan says all is well, all is well. So that is anchoring. So in Nyasa, it's the same thing happening, right? So it's a technique. Anchoring is a technique where you associate certain gesture with a mental state. It's like a condition. That's the beauty of our spiritual masters. They have designed all these things like thousands of years back, which science is discovering right now. It's mind-blowing. So, what does Nyasa do? So it prepares you mentally, physically, spiritually for the worship. Now here is the thing. This step is optional. If you are chanting on your own, you can skip it. You really, you don't have to do this. You have to learn this from a guru. So if you're just starting, you can skip this part and focus on the main practice, right? But I just want to share with you the process, right? These are the stages. And this is stage one. Stage two is Dhyana Shloka. Like we have Dhyana Shloka in Lalita Sahasranama, same. Like you visualize the Divine Mother. It is like, you picturize her form, her beauty, her grace, her presence. So this section is for your mind to settle, to get your focus. It's like before you meet somebody, we have something in your mind, right? You visualize the person and you prepare mentally for that meeting, something like that. Again, this is psychology here. So there's something called creative visualization. That is like you visualize. So that is Dhyana Shloka. It helps you to settle yourself, connect with her before you begin the journey. Now, if you're not sure about the Dhyana Shloka or if it's difficult to pronounce for some of you, just chant Om Sri Matre Namaha. You can chant Om Sri Matre Namaha 16 times with devotion. Sincere, straight from the heart. That's enough. That will help you to settle your mind and your body. This is stage 2. Stage 3 is part 3 is the main Sothra, the journey through the Sri Chakra. So this is the core of the practice, right? This is where the magic happens. So in this section, so while chanting, there are 98 names, all the yoginis, there are 9 avaranas, right, enclosures of the Sri Chakra. So you start from the outermost square wall. So this is a square, and then you can see 3 circles, petals, 2 petals, and then you have triangles, right? You go from the outer layer to the Bindu, the point, the absolute bliss, stillness. The Divine Mother herself is here. And on the way, you are calling each Devi, each deity, yoginis, the Shaktis, and it's well structured. It's absolutely genius, the whole process. It's like playing video games. If you're into video games, right? You start with one level, you meet certain characters, you gain certain powers, and then you move to the next level, new challenges, right? And then you get powerful, and then finally you reach your final destination. It's something like that, layer after layer, right? Removing all the mayas, from your mind, conscious mind, and then you reach the divine. Or in other way, it's like a GPS, a spiritual route map, guiding you step by step to reach your destination. And if you're wandering and if you're lost, this will give you a clear path. And then in the path, right, you have the Khadgamala, sword. Like when you go for trekking and things like that, people will have a stick or some weapon to clear the path. Exactly the same. So your tool is that Khadga. So you clear everything and then you reach the destination. So here, the first enclosure is protection and siddhis. Second enclosure is fulfillment of desires. Third is transformation. And then you go deeper, deeper, clear everything, and finally she's waiting for you. It's beautifully designed. Every name has a power, a place. Every deity has a role. Every step bring you closer to the Divine Mother. So this is third stage, right? And the last one, the fourth stage is Balashruti, benefit of chanting these verses. It describes everything you have just accomplished by completing this practice. Very detailed one. I read the benefit before, right? The same thing. The protection you received and things like that. So now, this, again, there is psychology behind it. It's like a motivational stuff because it reinforces your faith. It reminds you, yes, this practice is powerful, it works, because our mind always questions all these things, right? So it gives you that, confidence. So that's the power of Balashruti. And Balashruti you don't have to read every day, right? You can, once in a while, maybe like once in a week or once in a month, you can just read, but not mandatory every single day. Let me tell you something beautiful about spiritual worship. Stage one is physical worship, the gross form. Now, this is where we all start here, right? We all begin with this. At this stage, everything is external, right? You light the lamp, you offer flower, you perform puja, and you feel that the Divine Mother, the Devi, the God is separate from you. So you're looking at her, her vigraham, there is Ganyantra, all those kind of things, all external things. So your Archana, Abhishekam, all these pujas are examples of this form of worshipping, right? This is the first stage, and it's a very important stage because it gives you structure, it gives you discipline, it becomes a daily habit, and I know you have a clear purpose of doing this, and you may do it for months, years. So we all start here, right? And then we graduate, right? We go to the next level. So this is the foundation level. So the second level is the mantra sadhana, or worshipping through mantras, the subtle form. So even here, there is a physical thing, foundation is there, but there will be a shift within you. You start moving inward. From outward, you'll move inward. The focus is no longer on the ritual, but something inside. So mantras come, the sound comes, the vibration comes, the energy behind the words. So you will still light a lamp, you offer everything, you do puja, all those things are fine, but that's secondary. The real action is inside. So chanting Lalita Sahasranamam, in this Devi Khadgamala, Sri Vidya mantras, all those things are in this stage, the mantra sadhana. And the stage 3 is the formless state. So this is the final stage. And honestly, very, very few people reach here. But those who do, they experience something magical beyond words. So at this stage, you're not worried about pujas, you're not worried about rituals. You don't even have to chant mantras. You simply sit there, close your eyes, and Devi is here. She's here. No effort, no technique, nothing in between. Just pure consciousness, meeting a pure consciousness. And it's direct connection with Devi, right? No form. So this state is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi, a deep meditation, where there are no thoughts, no boundaries, no separation, right? No separation. Just you and her. Or rather, just her. Because at this stage, even the you disappears. There's only her. Her presence, you are her, she's there, nothing else exists. Right? So the third stage. So where does Devi Khadgamala fit into these 3 stages? So this is what makes Devi Khadgamala so incredibly powerful, because it covers all 3 stages in one practice. Because it has the yantra, the visual form, Sri Chakra, right? You offer everything, Kunkumarchana you put, and then you have mantras, right? The sounds, and then tantra, the inner journey, the transformation. So it's a complete system, a full spiritual package. So whether you are a beginner just starting with physical worship or an advanced practitioner moving into subtle states, Khadgamala meets you where you are, and it will take you deeper. So the progression is natural. So this is what I really want you to understand. So don't force yourself into this progression. It happens naturally, organically, and beautifully. So just start with physical worship. Do your kunkumarchana into this. You do puja. You show up every day. You light the lamp. You chant with the book in hand. But one day, like after some days, you will notice that, hey, I don't need even to look at the book. It's there. I know it by heart. The words will flow from your heart. And when it comes, then you close your eyes and then you go into stage 2. Right? So, even Lalita Sahasranamam, same thing happens. The practice becomes effortless and you'll experience Devi inside you. Right? And maybe one day when you sit for meditation, you will really experience her within you. And you'll awaken the Devi within you. She's simply present. She's always there. So the chant begins with a prayer to Mahalalita Tripura Sundari. Om Aim Hreem Shreem Kleem Sau Om Nama Tripura Sundari. So that's how it starts. And then we bow down to, like first is we have this Devadas, Hridaya Devi, Shiro Devi, Shika Devi, Kavacha Devi, Netra Devi, Astra Devi. Hridaya Devi, this is Nyasanga Devadas, right? Hridaya Devi is in your heart. Then Shika Devi, head, that spiritual connection to the crown chakra. Kavacha Devi is the armor, protection. Netra Devi gives you vision, insight. Astra Devi gives you weapons, right? Astra. So we bow down to this Nyasanga Devadas, and then we have Tidinitya Devadas. So I did a detailed video before, right? These are 16 goddesses connected to the lunar phases, and like each name end with the word E. Kameshwari, Bagamalini, Nityakline, Berunde, Vainivasini, it goes like that till Chitre Mahanitya. Right? So you pray to the 16 goddesses. And then we actually pray to 3 Guru lineage. Right? There are 3 Guru lineages. First one is Divya Gurus, Divine Gurus. There are 7, starting with Parameshwara Parameshwari till Agastya Mai. These are Divya Gurus. And then you have Siddha Gurus, Kalatabasha Mai. So starts from there to Devakala Anada Mai. So this is Siddha Gurus. There are 4 Gurus. And then 8 Manava Gurus. Right? Manava Gurus, human Gurus. Vishnu Deva Mai, ending with Sri Ramananda Mai. Right? So these are the Guru Paramparas. We kind of surrender to them. Because this is very important. It's very important to connect to the lineage because they were connected to Devi, right? So even if you don't have a real guru, these are your gurus, right? These gurus will bless you. So that's why we pray to these gurus. These are like living gurus. I mean, they lived once upon a time, right? After that, we go to the 9 avaranas. Okay, so if you look at it here, there are 3 circles, 2 petals, and then triangles, right? And this is the Bindu. The first avarana is called Triloka Mohana Chakra. So it's called chakras. This is the outer enclosure. And this outer, so if you're doing Kunkuma Archana and things like that, you put Kunkumam in those places. You don't have to worry about exact places, but just put here. Or even if you put it in the center, it's fine. So these are 8 Siddha Devis, Devadas. Like you have Anima Siddhe, Legma Siddhe, right? So each one has a Siddhi power. Anima Siddhe means you can shrink yourself to small, you can make yourself big, weightless. Garima Siddhe, you will get whatever you want. Mahima Siddhe. So everything has Siddhis and power. And then you talk about Brahmi, Maheshwara, Kaumari, Vaishnavi, Varahi, Mahendri, Chamunda, and Mahalakshmi. These are 8 Matrika goddesses. Again, they are personifies the powers of Brahma, Shiva, Skanda, Vishnu, Indra, and Chamunda. Right? So Brahmi is creative power, Maheshwari is transformative power, Kaumari related to Muruga, Kumara, youthful energy, Vaishnavi, Varahi roots out negativity, Mahendri, that thunderbolt power, Chamunda destroys demons, Mahalakshmi gives you wealth. Triloka Mohana Chakra Swamini, the goddess who enchants the 3 worlds. And Prakata Yogini is the presiding deity. So every chakra has a presiding deity and a yogini, right? The second avarana is, so this enclosure, this will fulfill all desires. There are 16 yoginis here. It all starts with, ends with Agarshini, right? Kama Agarshini, Buddhi Agarshini, Ahankara Agarshini, Shabda Agarshini, Sparsha Agarshini, Rupa Agarshini, Rasa Agarshini, Gandha Agarshini, Chitta Agarshini, Dairya Agarshini, Smriti Agarshini, Nama Agarshini, Bija Agarshini, Atma Agarshini, Amrita Agarshini, Sharira Agarshini. So, and the Gupta Yogini is the presiding deity. So here it's all about all the desires, whatever you want, all kind of power, attracting the mind, giving you courage, memory, shabda, like sound, names, reputation basically, that is what shabda here. And bija agarshini, attractor of seed, potential. Atma agarshini, attractor of the self. Amrita agarshini, attractor of nectar, which is immortality. So basically all those blessings. And then you go to the third avarana. So here everything starts with ananka. So ananka means bodiless. So here it's all about transformation, right? These energies are very powerful, very intense energies. It will transform your worldly desires into something else. That's the symbolic meaning to it. I'm not getting into detail, but we can do an 1 hour session on each of the layer. It is that deep and powerful. So fourth avarana is Sarva Saubhagya Dayini. So basically about all, again, blessings, auspiciousness. So then you move to the next chakra. So here everything ends with the word Prada, right? Prada means, again, boon. So here you will get spiritual attainments, riches, relationship, desires, fulfillment, and also removal of sorrow, diseases, obstacles, things like that. Sarvartha Sadhika is here. All purpose yoginis are here. It says Sarva Aishwarya Pradayini, giver of all, auspiciousness, lordly power. Sarva Jnanamai, essence of all knowledge. Sarva Vyadi Vinashini, destroyer of all diseases. Right? And Sarva Pabahara, remover of all sin. Sarva Anandamai, bliss of all. Right? So it's beautiful, the giver of all desired fruits. And then this is sixth. The seventh one is called Sarva Rogahara Chakra. Again, this circle contains 8 Vidya goddesses. Vashini, Kameshwari, Modini, it goes like that. So here, each one removes deep-rooted diseases. When I say diseases, diseases of the mind. Of course, body and mind. This yogini is called Rahasya Yogini. The eighth avarana is Sarva Siddhi Prada Chakra. So again here, all kind of, boons, whatever you want. It's all, these goddesses will give you all the desires, whatever you have. And then you have the 9th avarana, the last one, Sarvanandamaya Chakra, the innermost enclosure, pure bliss. It contains, Mahabhattariki, the supreme empress of the Sri Chakra, which is Lalita Mahatripura Sundari herself. The yogini is Paraparahasya Yogini, Paraparahasya Yogini, and the presiding deity is Sarvanandamaya, full of supreme bliss. This is the last one. And then you have this Nava Chakreshwari Nama. So again, it all Tripure, Tripureshi. So again, you're bowing down different names. Everything starts with Tripura. It ends with Mahatripura Sundari. Mahatripura Sundari, the great transcendental beauty of the 3 worlds. So these names encourage the devotee to meditate, contemplate the goddess as the essence, as the ruler, the beauty and the mother of all the worlds, right? And the last one is Namaskaram. So every line starts with Maha here. Maha means everything is double or like 10x power. Maha Maheshwari, Maha Rajni, Maha Shakti, the supreme empress of the city of Sri Chakra. So these titles remind the practitioner of her power, right? Like she's supreme, incomprehensible magnitude of her power. So that is what it describes. Here is something beautiful, and I want to understand this, something, very beautiful. Because if you look at the entire practice, there is a Sri Chakra outside you, which is the cosmic blueprint, the grand architecture of the universe, and there is a Sri Chakra inside you. Right now, so in your body, there's a Sri Chakra here in your consciousness. There are enclosures in our body, right? So there's a macrocosm and the microcosm, right? As above, as below, right? Outside, inside. So if you sit in Padmasanam, and it actually looks like a Meru when you sit in Padmasanam, and this is your crown chakra, Devi is here. So when you chant Devi Khadgamala, you're not just reciting names, you're not just asking for blessings from some distant deity, somewhere else. You are waking up these energies within yourself. Each goddess is a call, she's already there, she's inside you, she's waiting to be awakened. The 8 Matrika goddess, they represent the creative powers, inside us. The 16 goddesses, desire fulfilling god Devis, they govern, a lot of things in our consciousness. The fierce yoginis, guarding each of this enclosure. Again, our inner power, within us, waiting to be recognized. Just think about it. Devi is not somewhere up there. She is the consciousness, that animates your every breath. She is the intelligence behind every cell in your body. She is awareness listening to these words right now. So Khadgamala is a wake-up call. So you're literally activating the divine blueprint encoded in your being. So now here's the interesting part. This is where most people are confused. See, all the siddhis, supernatural powers, the ability to become invisible, to read minds, to control nature, all those things, which is there in the first, second, and third enclosures, like the down ones, that's not the goal. The real treasure is in the center, the Bindu, right? But then why do we have all the siddhis mentioned? Because why are we calling all these deities, which is giving you wealth, attraction, victory, all these extraordinary abilities? So that's the wisdom in this practice. The Divine Mother knows our nature. She knows that as long as you are worried about money, you can't focus on meditation. If you're afraid of enemies, you can't surrender. If you have disease, you're not able to pray, right? So she says, okay, let me remove all these distractions first. That's the outer layers, and then you can move up. Because your goal is to reach up, and for that you have to clear the path. So once you have protection, once you have what you need, once your fears dissolve, then you can walk freely, freedom. You're not distracted by survival anymore. You're not desperately chasing, money, wealth, and things like that. You're not scattered. You can focus on what really matters, which is reaching her, knowing her, becoming her. So these siddhis are not obstacles, they are stepping stones, they are training wheels, they are the mother's way of saying, don't worry about anything, I have got you covered, come close to me. So that's the beauty of Khadgamala. It's a complete spiritual system designed for, people like us, real human beings. So it doesn't ask you to renounce anything, right? It transforms your world first, and then naturally, effortlessly, you find yourself moving towards the center, towards stillness, towards silence, towards her. Right? So that's the power of Devi Khadgamala. So just call her. She is there. You are awakening the Sri Chakra within you through this practice. She's waiting there. She's always been waiting there. So she's not anywhere outside. She's there within you. Right? So the garland of the swords will clear your way. The journey will unfold naturally. All you have to do is to take the first step. Start tomorrow. Start chanting just 6 minutes minimum. And trust the process. The Divine Mother will do the rest. Om Sri Matre Namaha.